Do you want a VR headset better than everything else on the market for a fraction of the cost? Well, too bad! The DecaGear would have been a great headset for you. Although considering it was originally going to ship in Q4 of 2021 and then in Q4 of 2022, it doesn't really take a genius to figure out that it's never coming, especially considering it's 2023. So what happened? Well, before we get into that, we should probably go into why this headset was so highly anticipated in the first place. It would have been one of the most advanced VR headsets created ever. For starters, its displays would have been 2160 by 2160p at 90Hz. Assuming they would have been similar in clarity to a Reverb G2, they would have been pretty nice. The field of view, while not Pimax levels, would have been pretty respectable too. With 114 degrees horizontal and 109 degrees vertical, it would have been a bit better than an index. So reverb levels of clarity with an index's field of view, honestly, that alone would have made it a worthwhile headset. But that isn't all. Its controllers would have had full finger tracking like index controllers. The headset wouldn't have required lighthouses either, which could be a positive or negative depending on how you look at it. Speaking of looking at something, this headset would have had eye and face tracking. Once again, could be a negative depending on where your eyes tend to wander. And the cherry on top of all of this? There would have been a wireless adapter that allowed you to use the headset for up to 6 hours. For reference, a Vive wireless adapter can run a headset for around 2.5 hours. That's insane! So this thing must have cost a kidney or something considering it has a feature set like this. The most comparable headsets feature-wise would either be the Reverb G2 Omnicept or the Quest Pro, which both cost well over $1,200. Well, the DecaGear was originally going to cost $450, but was eventually pushed to $700. Either way, it would feel like you were committing a heist buying this thing. Turns out you would have needed to plan a heist to see it too. Obviously this headset isn't coming. It's been well over a year since their Twitter was active, and their website hasn't been updated either. So what happened? Well, it doesn't even take half a brain to realize that this was an ambitious project, and overly so too. There isn't even a headset out today that can match its specs in every single category. Even if it did end up releasing, I don't think that the $700 price tag would have stuck around. Maybe if you doubled it, you'd end up with a more accurate price tag. But that's still debatable. Obviously, hindsight is 20/20, and if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. But Deca already had a bit of trust due to a previous product they put out, the Deca Move. It definitely isn't as advanced as an entire VR headset, but at least it proved that they were capable of designing and shipping out a functioning product. Granted, people were having issues with it, but hey, at least we know for certain it existed. In all likelihood, the DecaGear did exist to some extent. In an announcement in their Discord server, an employee who left the company said that the marketing was over-exaggerated. Who knows what any of the existing prototypes actually had on them? It's also worth noting that there was a pandemic going on around the time that this headset was announced. Unless you're like 3 or 4, you probably remember it. It affected the production of literally every product on the planet, so it's not surprising it would affect something from a smaller company. Maybe if it never happened, we would have actually seen a headset from Deca, although who knows if they could actually include all the features that they promised. While it's quite sad that we never got and likely never will get to see this mythical beast of a headset, it definitely taught the VR community a valuable lesson. Seeing is believing, especially when it's a product that could have changed the entire VR space forever. It's really not worth getting your hopes up over something that you have no definitive proof actually exists. Were you looking forward to buying a DecaGear when it was announced? I know I was. I was planning on replacing my index with it. Obviously, that never happened, and I still haven't found a headset to replace it as my daily driver. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time.